This week, Canada invests $100 million into vegan meat. Greta Thunberg inspires kids to recycle, and Bogota, Colombia is set to ban bullfighting. This is Live Kindly News. Remember to hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon to turn on notifications, and leave your comments below. Three-time Grammy Award-winning singer Lizzo told her 8.7 million TikTok followers that she is vegan. The musician made the revelation during a recipe video for a vegan cheesy egg scramble she shared on TikTok.
So being plant-based and vegan has been pretty easy, except for when I am hungover. I used to crave cheesy eggs. So here is my substitute for cravings when you're hungover.
The recipe included just vegan egg, spinach, dairy-free pepper jack cheese, and a carne asada and black bean corn mixture she made in a previous TikTok video. She served meatless bacon on the side.
Here's the secret about vegan bacon. I like to cook it in maple syrup so it gets nice and crunchy and candied. And there we have it. It's a really ugly but delicious scramble.
Sir Paul McCartney and his daughters, fashion designer Stella McCartney and photographer Mary McCartney, are backing a call to offer school children more vegan meals.
An area of rainforest the size of 100 football pitches is cut down every hour to create room for grazing cattle.
The trio signed a letter to UK schools to drop guidelines that make meat, dairy, and fish products mandatory in school meals. International animal rights group PETA is leading the campaign. The letter, addressed to the UK's Education Secretary Gavin Williamson, is also backed by the Royal Society for Public Health and Greenpeace. It calls for more flexibility in nutritional guidelines and school meal plans. In a joint statement, the McCartneys said, "No one needs to eat meat, so it shouldn't be mandatory to serve it in schools. It's time to revise the school food standards to help the planet, spare animals, and promote healthy eating." Under the current UK school food plan, children must be served meat and poultry 3 or more times per week, while oily fish should be served at least once every 3 weeks. It also states that dairy should be served daily. Coming up, US Starbucks launches vegan Impossible breakfast sausages. Doctors are also urging the US government to ditch dairy. Members of the nonprofit Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, a plant-based advocacy organization that includes 12,000 physicians, want the US Department of Agriculture to cut dairy from its MyPlate dietary guidelines. The group says the USDA should make MyPlate, the agency's healthy nutrition guide, dairy-free due to a growing body of research that indicates dairy carries a number of health risks, especially for people of color. Susan Levin, PCRM's Director of Nutrition Education, said in a statement, "What may have started as an attempt to stabilize dairy prices has become a serious health problem for many, and has justifiably been criticized as a racist practice for 2 reasons. First, dairy products are not well digested, if digested at all, by most people who are not white. And further, as the leading source of saturated fat in the diet, dairy products contribute to chronic diseases, including heart disease and prostate cancer, that disproportionately harm or kill people of color." The USDA introduced MyPlate in 2011. The dietary guidelines divide a common serving plate into 3 main food groups: vegetables, fruit, and grains. It also features a nutrient category, protein, and a separate serving recommendation for dairy. PCRM has also urged the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee to remove dairy from its 2020 to 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans. The advisory committee will release a report mid-July. Starbucks locations in the US also just announced more vegan options. The coffee chain just launched a breakfast sandwich made with Impossible Foods vegan sausage.
The Impossible has nabbed a lot of big partnerships with restaurant chains, but this is the biggest one yet.
Customers can now order the meatless breakfast sandwich in stores across the US. The plant-forward breakfast sausage is part of Starbucks' new summer menu, which also includes new cold coffee drinks. Michael Kabori, Chief Sustainability Officer at Starbucks, said in a press release, "We're pleased to add the Impossible breakfast sandwich to meet the growing customer interest in plant-based options."
The sausage is more similar to the traditional sausage than even the burger is.
In the UK, Papa John's is set to launch vegan chili cheese pizzas. Instagram account Vegan Food UK posted about the upcoming launch. According to the photo, the new pizza features an Amarillo chili base, dairy-free cheese, red peppers, onions, jalapeno, green peppers, and green chilies. The launch date has not been announced. Canada may soon get more vegan options. The country just announced a nearly $100 million investment in vegan protein.
Today, I can announce that our government is contributing almost $100 million for the new Merit Functional Foods location in Winnipeg.
The Winnipeg-based company specializes in producing plant-based proteins. Merit will use the funds to build its new commercial-scale plant-based protein production plant.
As people around the world start eating more plant-based products, we have an opportunity to bring together Canadian innovation and Canadian crops, and a chance to create good, well-paying jobs.
This facility will be a world leader in plant-based proteins and create good jobs in a fast-growing field. Merit Functional Foods expects its new plant to be fully operational by the end of the year. Colombia's capital, Bogota, is moving toward a ban on bullfighting.
Me parece terrible.
I think this is terrible because it's celebrating violence and blood, and it shouldn't be considered humane.
The City Council has backed a draft law that would outlaw the torture of bulls. Andrea Padilla, a Green Alliance Party council member and the bill's promoter, told reporters the bill would make it illegal to lacerate, cut, maim, injure, burn, or hurt animals in any form whatsoever. It would also limit bullfighting events at the Santa Maria Bull Ring, which is run by Bogota's City Hall, to 3 bullfights per year. Bullfighting first began in the city in 1931. Former Mayor Gustavo Petro banned bullfighting in 2012. However, Colombia's Constitutional Court lifted the ban and bullfights resumed in 2017.
The fight for this to end was too big for us to take steps back. This isn't art or culture, it's torture.
Tortura.
The power to enact an outright ban on bullfighting resides with the Colombia legislature. However, the City Council hopes the restrictions will eventually put an end to bullfighting once and for all. The Dutch Parliament has ruled that fur farms that shut down due to the coronavirus outbreak will not reopen.
The outbreak in the Netherlands is now decreasing, is fading out in humans. So we don't want to have a reservoir in mink farms because there will be a continuing risk.
After infections were discovered at more than a dozen of the nation's mink farms, the government ordered the culling of hundreds of thousands of mink. Spokeswoman Frédérique Hermy told The Guardian, all mink breeding farms where there is an infection will be cleared, and farms where there are no infections won't be. According to Sentient Media, the latest data shows nearly 600,000 minks from 13 farms have been killed to prevent the spread of COVID-19. More culling is expected to follow. In April, authorities identified the first cases of mink that were infected with the virus by their handlers.
A mink with COVID-19 has infected 2 people in the Netherlands in what is possibly the first such transmission case since the outbreak started.
They're currently the only known cases of animal-to-human transmission, according to the World Health Organization. Coming up, 4 major meat companies are accused of price fixing. Amazon has announced a $2 billion climate pledge fund. The fund will support the development of sustainable food and technology to combat climate change. The new fund is part of Amazon's climate pledge, announced last September.
Amazon will be one of the first companies, if not the first company, to meet the Paris Climate Accords and climate pledges 10 years early by the year 2040, outlining a number of steps with regard to renewable energy projects and benchmarks that will get it there by the year 2040.
Previously, it announced its intention to run on clean energy by 2030. It has now moved its target year for this to 2025. The new Climate Pledge Fund will invest in companies that provide products and solutions for fighting the climate crisis and accelerating the transition to a low-carbon economy. It will initially focus on energy generation, storage, and utilization, transportation and logistics, manufacturing and materials, circular economy, and food and agriculture. 4 major meat producers, Tyson Foods Inc., Cargill Inc., JBS SA, and National Beef Inc., have been subpoenaed by the U.S. Department of Justice on allegations of antitrust violations. The indictment is part of the ongoing investigations into price fixing in the meat industry.
Distributors say that the chicken companies coordinated their outputs and limit chicken production in order to raise prices.
In early June, 4 poultry industry executives from JBS-owned Pilgrim's Pride and Claxton Poultry were indicted by the DOJ on price fixing and bid rigging.
Pilgrim's Pride, the big chicken processor, down about 12% right now, and this is even after a trading halt for volatility. This comes on the heels of headlines involving a federal grand jury handing down an indictment for antitrust practices over at Pilgrim's Pride, in addition to another poultry processor.
All 4 have pleaded not guilty. The suit claims this has been ongoing since at least 2015, according to the lawsuit filed in Minneapolis federal court. Announcing the investigation on March 12, 2020, Secretary of Agriculture Sony Perdue said that the price difference between live cattle and wholesale boxed beef was historically high. Scientists just named a new spider species after teenage environmentalist Greta Thunberg. Peter Jaeger, head of arachnology at the Senckenberg Research Institute and Natural History Museum in Frankfurt, discovered a new genus of Madagascan huntsman spiders. In the scientific journal Zootaxa, Jaeger explained that the Tumberga spider features a unique eye arrangement and dotted pattern. The arachnologist has a penchant for naming spiders after famous figures. In 2008, he named a huntsman spider, Heteroproda David Bowie, after glam rock icon David Bowie. Jaeger, who has discovered several new spider species during his 20-year career as an arachnologist, said that by naming his spider after Thunberg, he aimed to draw attention to the issue of biodiversity loss in Madagascar. He said, "The rising temperatures affect all areas of nature, including the endemic diversity and spider fauna of Madagascar." In addition to influencing arachnologists, the teenage environmentalist is also inspiring children to teach their parents about good recycling practices. According to a new poll by the Metal Packaging Manufacturers Association, which surveyed 2,000 parents of school children, nearly half of parents have been shamed by their children for not recycling properly. 40% said their kids are the main drivers of positive recycling and sustainability attitudes at home. This, in part, due to the rising popularity of Thunberg. It's also due to more education on environmental issues at school. Thunberg first started campaigning for more action on environmental issues at the age of 15. She sat outside the Swedish parliament on her own in August 2018. Thunberg is the founder of Fridays for Future, a global movement that has inspired millions of school children to stand up for environmental issues.
I got so inspired to say, I'm 16 years old too. If she can do it, I can do it, and everyone can do it. Young people are leading the climate movement because we will be the ones most affected by the climate crisis.
She demands more action from politicians and big companies. That's it for today. What do you think about Starbucks launching Impossible breakfast sausages? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We'll see you again next week for Live Kindly News.